If you're ready to dive into the raw and unfiltered reality of ocean crossing life, you've clicked on the right video. We're currently sailing around 850 nautical miles on leg 1 of our Atlantic crossing, a 7-day sailing passage on a monohull sailboat. Just the two of us on board in the vast Atlantic. It's day 3, and if you've missed the adventures of days 1 and 2, here's the quick catch-up. We set off from the Canary Islands shores. Shawn tackled a couple of boat chores, and we savored a few good hot meals. Night watches were even exciting as shooting stars sliced through the darkness.
Saw a shooting star.
Although we've been hungry for that downwind sailing, forecast teased, as we push further from the Canaries, our spirits aboard sailing vessel Tela are sky high, especially after a lively dolphin show.
Woo! Oh my god, babe, there's like 20. Woo!
And a sunset that set the horizon on fire. But to be real, the only thing that'll crank this passage to the next level is that downwind sailing angle we've been chasing. So welcome back to Sailing Tela as we kick off day 3 at sea, continuing onward for leg 1 of our Atlantic crossing as husband and wife on this classic monohull sailboat.
It is day 3. If it's not strapped down, it will fall. I could make laps around the boat. The pilot berth.
We've got Sea State PDR.
Halfway.
Well, y'all, here we are on the morning of day 3. It's 6 a.m. Y'all, as I stand here taking in the stunning Atlantic Ocean sunrise aboard Tela, it reminds me that Ernest Hemingway once said, "It is good to have an end to journey toward, but in the end, it's the journey that matters." And y'all, for us, the circumnavigation around the globe, one wave at a time. The circumnavigation is the end. But for me, on mornings like these majestic sunrises on the open seas, this is the journey. And this is what matters, y'all.
Good morning, y'all. It is day 3 at sea, and it is time for some downwind sailing. So we are going to go ahead and get these whisker poles up. Side 1 is pulled out. Yeah. All right, now let's get this port side up. Now that we have the whisker poles out and we have a pulled out Genoa and a pulled out staysail, we are going around 5 to 5.5 knots, and our true wind speed is currently 14-15 knots. It feels so peaceful just having the motor completely off. And finally on day 3, we have that downwind sailing that we have been wanting since day 1, and we should be able to keep this configuration for the remainder of our 800 plus nautical mile sail. It is currently 9:39 a.m. Shawn is down below and he is heating us up some egg bites that we had made prior to leaving. We've officially been 250 nautical miles on the dot, and we've officially been sailing for 48 hours and 2 minutes. And if we just keep going in like a perfectly straight line from where we are now, which should be doable if our downwind sailing continues. So if that is the case, then we officially have 558.6 nautical miles remaining until we get to Mindelo. But anywho, I believe, oh gosh, this roll, that came out of nowhere. Every now and then we'll get like a big wave or two and we'll roll for a minute. This is what Shawn just reheated. It's gonna be so good. There's little bits of bacon in there too.
By day 3 of our 7-day Atlantic sailing passage, we felt we had really gotten into our rhythm at sea. From night watches to morning coffee and breakfast to relaxing and taking naps during the day, we were really into our routine and it was liberating. We spent the entire day soaking in nature's gift of sunshine, the breeze, and pure freedom, with the sails high in that wing-on-wing position without our engine on, and the occasional roll from the ocean swell reminding us of its power. Living our life on a boat at sea is really inexplainable, but one thing's for sure, even if you aren't able to sail around the world and do this full time, it's totally worth it to have your own experience at sea at some point in your lifetime, because I promise you, it will change you.
Dinner is served. These were meatballs, but I guess I didn't put enough like binder type in these for these to stay together. But Shawn reheated these like, oh my gosh, the perfect man. They actually smell amazing. I'm just glad to have a hot meal on passage. Day 4 at sea, headed to Cabo Verde in the Atlantic Ocean. The sun is just starting to rise. You can see we've got a little bit of a roll going on. Day 4 at sea, on our way to Mindelo, Cabo Verde. Last year, we crossed the Atlantic, we went to Europe, we did all sorts of amazing things. This year, we're crossing back to the Caribbean so we can get ready to go through that Panama Canal and cross the Pacific. So it's currently around 6:45 in the morning. The sun is just rising. Nothing is obstructing the view. There's no buildings, no cars, no people, no sound, just waves, no engine on, and it's absolutely amazing. It's quite rolly. I am currently sitting behind our helm in the cockpit and just kind of taking in a little bit of the breeze. Shawn is down below making some coffee, and Delilah girl has already been fed and watered. She's had her breakfast, and I took her to the back.
You got it. Go, go. You got it. Go, go, go. Come with me. Let's go. Go, 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 go. Let's go. In.
She has a little mat on the back that we take up and down, and she'll go potty on that, and then we can wash it off with our hose that we have in one of our lockers. So that has already all taken place today. The sun is starting to make its way above the horizon.
Shawn soon brought up some hot morning coffee for us to sip while we caught up together over our night watches, while the sun completely rose over the horizon to our port side. And once our coffee sipping conversation was over, I had a couple boiled eggs for breakfast and Shawn had a bowl of cereal.
One thing about being at sea is that you don't just get to like go out and go for a walk. I could make laps around the boat, but with a sea state like this, there are no laps going to happen on board today, at least while the sea state is like this. So I do want to move my body, and it might not be super easy, but I am going to try to at least get a little bit of exercise in, get out some energy, because on days like this, when the sea state is what it is, we are spending our day sitting and not really able to move around a whole lot. So I'm going to try my best to burn a few calories, at least get a little bit of energy out, and I find that it just makes me personally feel a lot better. Thought I would bring y'all down below deck to show you what it looks like down here underway. Stuff's moving around. This is our pilot berth that we've been sleeping on. Delilah's bed is right here. She usually sleeps under the table, but she likes to be really close to me at all times. So I put her bed right there so that she can be really close to me while I'm right there in the pilot berth. Delilah, you come down? Okay, you ready? Ready? Come on. You got it. Come on, I'm right here. Now you gonna get on your bed? You gonna get on your bed? Yes. As you can see, we have to keep everything strapped in, including our mini fridge, including our coffee grinder and pot. These are all clean dishes in the sink, stacked so that they will not be clanging around. That's our coffee pot and oil and knives strapped down. If it's not strapped down, it will fall. And you can see we have a ton of water strapped down here. And I'm getting into the pilot berth. But anyway, I've been up since 4:30. I'm not sleepy. I'm just kind of feeling like resting. So I decided to come down to the berth so I could lay flat and get a little bit of rest. So that is what I'm doing. Rolling, honey. And on that note, we'll see y'all in a bit.
All right, y'all, so here we are on the afternoon of day 4, and we are a long ways from the shore of the Spanish Canary Islands, so it's time to get this Spanish courtesy flag down, so let's get her done.
Wind got a hold to that.
Yeah. All right, y'all, while we're underway to Cabo Verde, I wanted to take a minute and tell you about our downwind sailing configuration here on Tela. Now, out here in the Atlantic this afternoon, we've got Sea State PDR. And for y'all that don't know what Sea State PDR is, that's country sailor's language for pretty early. Now here on good old Tela, we're fortunate to have not one, but 2 whisker poles. And our whisker poles are mounted in these tracks and slide up and down in front of our Selden mast. So we have our Genoa poled out to starboard over here on this whisker pole. And then we have our staysail poled out on this whisker pole to port. And you can see our topping left on each whisker pole out on the end, port and starboard. So now, y'all, I'll show you how we have these set up on each side. They're the same reciprocal on each side. So, of course, this is our staysail, and in the front, we have a preventer. We have it prevented 4, and then we also have another preventer. We have it prevented aft. You can see the aft preventer. Then we have our sheet going out to the end of the whisker pole, and this is the lazy sheet. And of course, that's our topping left. And y'all on the other side, we have the exact same setup. We have it prevented fore, we have it prevented aft. We've got our sheet out on the end of the whisker pole, and of course we got the topping left. And y'all, that way the whisker poles are both locked in fore and aft. And y'all, the beauty of this traditional downwind sailing wing on wing configuration is, once you get it set up with these dual whisker poles, you don't have to do a thing. If the wind pipes up, you got your roller furling gear. All you got to do is roll in a little sail, and if the wind dies down, you roll back out a little sail. You never touch the poles. We won't touch these whisker poles until we get all the way to Mindelo.
Just a little update. It is 4:40 p.m. on day 4, and we have officially been halfway, y'all. Feels good. The roll has calmed down quite a bit. Still a little rolly, but not at all what it was, so we are feeling good. Delilah just had an early little dinner. She's down below my feet, and I'm hopeful that we have a nice and beautiful sunset. Dinner time. Well, y'all, the sun has just set. It was so beautiful out here on the water. We actually just finished dinner as well. We are just sailing on along, completely alone out here. Not another soul in sight, not another sailing vessel, no land. We are on day 4 and we haven't seen land or boats or people since day 1. So we're about to start night watches for night 4 here in a little bit. We're gonna go take showers and get kind of settled in for the evening and then start night watches. But we're going to end out today's video here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you want to join us on our circumnavigation all the way around the world, one wave at a time, hit that subscribe button because we post right here every single Friday, right on YouTube. Hit that like button and leave us a comment. And we'll see y'all next time on Sailing Tela.
Still to come on Sailing Tela, we'll continue sailing for 3 more full days at sea until we reach the African shores of Cabo Verde to complete leg 1 of our Atlantic crossing. We'll enjoy some time on deck for another lively water show presented by a large pod of friendly dolphins and perhaps even an unexpected encounter with an underwater giant.
That was, oh my God, that was insane. I've never seen anything like that.
Shawn will be pouring a sip in the cockpit as we approach a new shoreline as well.
So cheers to the fascinating history of good old Kentucky bourbon.
And remember to subscribe so you can join our world circumnavigation every Friday right here on YouTube.